All right, you guys are always asking. It's without a doubt the most requested video I get. I get asked about this almost every single day in the comments section. The comment on the comments videos. I've done a series of these videos. I don't even remember how many anymore, 5 or 6. There's a playlist. I'll try to remember to put a link to it up here, but there's a playlist of all the comment on the comments videos I've done. It's time to do a new one. Let's go. All right, now usually when I do the comment on the comments videos, they are themed. I'll do like a Florida State version of comment on the comments, where all the comments are from Florida State fans or whatever. There is a theme to these on the comments as well, but it's more of a general theme. Now, obviously, I'm gonna put specific comments up on the screen, okay? But the comments I chose to do for this video represent comments that I get all the time. And I just think these types of comments are completely ridiculous or stupid or don't make any sense or whatever. I think it'll be easier to kind of understand the theme of this comment on the comments video as we get towards the end of the video. It's easier to watch it and kind of get the theme than it is for me to try to explain it. But here we go. Let's kick things off. All right, now I get some comment or some version of this comment all the time on my channel, especially when I talk about who are the best coaches, or I talk about recruiting, or I talk about the development of players, or anything like that. I'll get some version of this comment all the time. Basically, what this comment is suggesting is that Nick Saban is not the greatest coach of all time. He's just the greatest recruiter of all time. And he goes on to say if Saban was the greatest coach of all time, he'd have 13 natties. Now, he's saying that because 13 years, Nick Saban's Alabama team has had the most talented roster in the country. And what he's saying is if he was really the most talented coach, he'd win the national title every single time when he's got the most talented team. Now, of course, anybody with any sense knows that that's not the case. But let's take this a step further. What people like this fail to understand is that recruiting is a part of coaching. In fact, it's a huge part. I've made the argument. I've heard people way smarter than me make the argument. Recruiting is like 75 to 80% of college football. That's just a fact. So to differentiate someone's, a coach's ability to recruit versus a coach's ability to do whatever it is you're suggesting here is pointless. There is no difference. An ability to recruit is every bit as important as anything else that a coach can do. I mean, a coach has a huge, long list of responsibilities, whether you're talking about game planning, overall philosophy, scheduling, hiring coaches, hiring coordinators, and yes, recruiting. And here's the thing. It all flows uphill. So even if you want to say, well, the Alabama recruit's great, but, Nick Saban ain't got nothing to do with it, that's ridiculous. Who picks the coaches? I can tell you this from a Georgia fan, Kirby Smart, who was up under Saban forever. Part of what Saban and Kirby and lots of other coaches, any coach with any sense, Mario Cristobal falls into this category, any coach with any sense, when they're hiring coaches, yes, they're looking for a tight end coach who has the ability to develop tight ends. They're looking for a defensive line coach who has the ability to develop defensive linemen. That is true. But if they can do that, but they can't recruit, their name gets crossed off the list. Period. So, and again, this is one comment, but my comments on this comment are not directed specifically at this person. It's at this group of people who can't understand that recruiting is part of a coach's job, whether it's direct recruiting, Saban himself actually going to meet with a high school kid or a high school kid's parents, or Saban going to a high school football game on a Friday night to scout a kid. That recruiting is part of your job responsibility as a head coach. You can't separate it. You can't say that, well, the only reason anybody thinks Nick Saban's a great coach is because he just recruits good. That's part of his job, dummy. 5-star dummy. All right, for this next one, I've got, I think, 3 different comments to put up on the screen. They're all related in one way or another. And again, I'm not yelling specifically at these 2 or 3 idiots that made these 2 or 3 comments here. I am yelling at them, but not them specifically. I get comments like this or this type of comment a lot on this channel. This one says, ha ha ha, you couldn't get Jackson Arnold. Now, this is a comment from an Oklahoma fan on a video I made about Georgia signing Dylan Raiola. Okay, first of all, Georgia did not recruit Jackson Arnold. Doesn't mean Jackson Arnold's not any good. I think Jackson Arnold might end up being the best quarterback from last year's class. Better than Arch Manning, better than any other quarterbacks you want to name. But Georgia did not recruit Jackson Arnold. Why? Georgia only recruited one quarterback last cycle. That's it, Arch Manning. That's the only quarterback Georgia actively recruited. They went all in on Arch Manning. This was talked about all year by Georgia fans especially, but by even recruiting experts, that it was a risk Georgia was taking by going an all-in or nothing approach on Arch Manning. Of course, Georgia ended up not getting Arch Manning. And again, I'm not saying this to say that Georgia didn't want Jackson Arnold or Georgia didn't think Jackson Arnold was any good or anything like that. It's just Georgia was all in on Arch Manning. It was going to be Arch Manning or nobody last year for Georgia. Jackson Arnold's a great quarterback, but he's a different class. What does this even mean? Ha, 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 you couldn't get Jackson Arnold. That was last year. This is this year. So how about me saying, ha, 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 you couldn't get Dylan Raiola? I mean, couldn't I just as easily say that to you? This is just a stupid-ass comment on a video about Georgia signing Dylan Raiola for the 2024 class. Your response is, ha, 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 you couldn't get a quarterback we signed in last year's class? Makes no fucking sense. All right, now here's another one that I don't think you could get more facts wrong in a comment if you tried than this human potato here. But what do you expect from the Hilljacks, the Voltards? But he's saying, I'm about to leave you. The quarterback that Tennessee signed in the most recent class is better than Dylan Raiola. Now, there's so much wrong with this comment, I almost don't even know where to start. First of all, it's not the class of 2022. That's number one. It's the class of 2023. That's where he screws up there right out of the bat. I'm about to leave you as the number one recruit, QB recruit in 2022. No, he wasn't. I'm about to leave you was not the number one QB recruit in 2022. In fact, he was never the number one QB recruit at all. Arch Manning was the number one QB recruit in 2023, the same year that I'm about to leave you was recruited. 2022 has nothing to do with I'm about to leave you. Then he says he's going to be better than Dylan Raiola or whatever his name is. He may be better, he may be worse. In any case, neither one of those two players was recruited for the class of 2022. I'm about to leave you was class of 23. Dylan Raiola is class of 24. Your dumbass typed class of 2022. All right, and then in third in this group of idiot comments here, this one is only loosely associated with the other two in that it has to do with recruiting. But here we have random anonymous YouTube commenter that is somehow smarter and more well-informed than every single recruiting analyst and recruiting service on planet Earth. Here he says Dylan Raiola is not the best quarterback in this year's class. Some guy named Crone Dick or whatever the fuck that no one's ever heard of is actually the number one recruit. And then here he goes. I've seen the tape. Hey, no, you haven't. You haven't watched 1 second of fucking tape in your entire goddamn life. Not one. Now, let's start here with this Crone Dick individual. He goes to some small private military academy in Savannah, Georgia that no one's ever heard of. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good quarterback. In fact, he's the 8th rated overall quarterback in the 2024 class, okay? And again, I'm not saying you're wrong in stating that he's better than Raiola. He may end up being better than Raiola, but not because you say you've watched the tape, okay? Every single recruiting service, every single recruiting analyst has been talking about Dylan Raiola nonstop for 2 years. Not one of them has ever mumbled the word Crone Dick, ever. Not one fucking time. But anonymous YouTube commenter is somehow smarter than all of those analysts and all of those recruiting services. Point number 2, you haven't watched 1 second of tape. You don't even know what the fuck tape is. You know what you've done? You've watched Crone Dick huddle highlights on YouTube. That's it. That's all you've done. You've gone to YouTube, you typed in Crone Dick highlights, and you watched a 3-minute huddle reel of him completing a couple of passes in a private military league out of Savannah, Georgia. That's not watching tape. You have no clue what watching tape is. You don't understand what watching tape is. If you saw someone watching tape, you wouldn't even know that's what they were doing. That's how fucking ignorant you are. You haven't watched 1 goddamn second of tape. 5-star dummy. All right, on to the next one. What's this one say? Thanks, shithead. All right, stop me if you've heard this before. SEC fans are the only people that care about how good their conference is. Nobody else cares. Other normal people only care about their team and nobody else. They don't blow their chest out about how good and bad their conference is. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, dummy? I've been saying forever that's not true, and of course this comment proves it. This person's not an idiot. In fact, what he's stating is true. The ACC has won more national championships over the last however many years in the Big Ten. So what he's saying is 100% true. That doesn't make him an idiot and doesn't make him stupid. And for all I don't know that this particular person has ever said that the SEC people are the only people that care about conference pride or that brag about their conference or whatever. I'm not accusing him of that, but I have heard from thousands and thousands of fans over the years on here that says SEC people is the only people that do this. Well, here you go, dummy. Here's an ACC man bragging that they're better than the Big Ten because they've won more national titles. Now, here's what this gets down to. You hear this all the time. It's only SEC people who are fans of a team that can't win a national title, so then they just try to piggyback off of Alabama and these other teams that win national titles. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. I'm fucking Uncle Lou. I'm the biggest fucking idiot Georgia fan on the internet, and I'm also the biggest SEC homer on the internet. Facts. And Georgia is your back-to-back defending national champion. And I am still on here saying fuck the ACC, fuck the Big Ten, fuck the Pac-12, fuck the Big Ten, Big 12, Pac-12, fuck them all. The SEC is the best conference in all of college football, period, hands down. I don't care whether Georgia's won back-to-back national titles or whether Georgia has 0 national titles. I'm going to be here till the day I die telling you that the SEC is better than you. And this guy is going to continue to brag about the ACC being better than the Big Ten, even though a lot of you fucking morons say, oh, the SEC man is the only one that does this. No, they're not. 5-star dummy. All right, here's another one where I've got 2 or 3 comments, I think, to put up on the screen, all basically saying the same thing, albeit about different teams. And it's people who leave comments that think it's impossible for anybody else to know anything about their team, just them, right? Like it's all some version of you obviously don't pay attention to blah, blah yada yada yada, right? You got one crying about what you obviously don't know what you're talking about. We brought this player and that player in through the portal. Oh, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. We got this and that wide receiver. Oh, you obviously don't know what we're talking about. We're the whatever most talented team, and it's the idea that unless you're them, right? Unless you're a fan of their team, you can't possibly know what you're talking about. Now, keep in mind that all 3 of these comments came off of a video I did about Vegas win totals. So they're not even Uncle Lou's opinions. So they're there telling me how I don't know anything. They're not even, this is Vegas, okay? Vegas doesn't know what they're talking about now? Is that what you're saying? I guess that's why they keep tearing down all those casinos and making them smaller, right? No, they're tearing them down and making them bigger. They do know what they're talking about. The fact that Vegas thinks your team isn't going to be any good doesn't mean that you're somehow smarter than them because you're a fan of that team and they're not. In fact, it's the exact opposite. You're a fan of that team. You're emotionally involved. You can't look at it subjectively. You don't have the fucking ability. So all you can do is say, well, this guy didn't say my team's going 100-0, so therefore he doesn't study my team enough like I do. I'm an expert on my team. Take your fucking ball and go home. Or better yet, take your goddamn wireless keyboard and go home. Oh, and one more thing about this last one that was left by the Florida man. You obviously don't do your research, Woo. Your Georgia bias is showing because Florida's top 12 nationally in talent. He thought he did something when he left this comment, didn't he? Thought he caught me some kind of way, thought he was going to teach me a lesson. Sir, I agree. Florida's top 12-ish, top 15-ish talent-wise. I agree. So maybe you can tell me, why can't they make a fucking bowl game? It's because of Billy Napier, you goddamn idiot. The guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's in over his head. He never should have been hired. I don't have to be a Georgia fan to realize that. Any dummy that can fog a mirror knows that. 5-star dummy. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to play music at the beginning of my live shows. I'm going to continue to then let those videos upload automatically to YouTube afterwards without going in and doing your work for you. YouTube has had a fast forward feature for 12 years, forever, since YouTube came out. It's had a fast forward feature. Get someone to teach you how to use it. Your fake ADHD ain't Uncle Lou's problem. 5-star dummy. This is another great one here, too, that I get all the time. And again, this individual, this Mensa student here is in the spotlight right now, but this certainly is not the only one. I get this all the time. I make a video about whatever team. Obviously, that team's name is going to be in the title of the video. In this case, I believe it's Ohio State, right? So Ohio State does something, or there's some news or something, and I decide I want to make a video about it. I title the video, whatever, blah, blah, Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. Right on cue. Well, there it is. That proves it. Obviously a fan of Ohio State. Yeah, and if you click back one video, I'll be a fan of Florida. Click back another couple of videos, I'm a fan of Clemson. Click back another couple of videos, I'm a fan of Michigan. Click another couple of videos, I'm a fan of Southern Cal. Click back another couple of videos, I'm a fan of Oregon, so forth and so on. Is that how it works? Is that what we have reduced ourselves here to here? That if you talk, whatever you talk about, that's what you're a fan of? Really? I wonder if I found your Facebook page and I went to it. Every single thing you've ever posted about on Facebook means you're a fan of that? Does it apply to that too? Or is it just YouTube titles? I don't know. But this is one of the dumbest versions of comments I think that I get on the channel. The idea that if you talk about something, well, you must be a fan of it. 5-star dummy. I absolutely love this one here. This person tells me I need to calm down and humble myself because Florida, Ohio State, and whoever else, Alabama, won national titles in the last 20 this century before Georgia. Well, okay, that's great. Hey, lady, you're an Ohio State fan. You won a national title in 2002. Guess who won a natty in 2001? Miami. According to you, that means Miami is better than Ohio State today. Holy shit. You're dumb as fuck. 5-star dummy. Oh, here we go. I like this one too. You see a version of this comment on Facebook a lot too, or a lot of different places really. But basically, it's the idea that someone only posted something for quote unquote views, right? Or you'll hear people say, "Oh, but you only posted this for clicks," or whatever. You see that on articles on Facebook or whatever, right? Let me now this is a government secret here. This is super ultra top secret classified here. I'm not supposed to be telling anybody this. It's in my YouTube contract that I signed. But I'm going to go ahead and take a chance, and I'm going to let you know something right now, okay? Lean in close and listen. I'm going to have to whisper this so that the powers that be don't hear me and I get myself in some trouble. Lean in close. Here, come on, close like this. Let me tell you something. Listen to me. Are you listening? Okay. Social media. Social. Do you know what that means? Social media. The only reason, and I mean the sole, very only reason that any human being in the history of the internet has ever posted anything on social media is for views. There's no other reason, lady. There is no other reason to post anything ever on any form of social media. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, any social media, anywhere on the internet. There is no other reason to post it except for views. That's it. You typed this comment for a view from me, and I viewed it, and then I laughed for a fucking hour. Okay? There is no other reason. Of course I posted this video for views. What did you think I posted it for? Is there some other reason you think I've been posting videos? It's all for views. Everything anyone has ever posted anywhere on social media is for views. If I wasn't doing this for views, I just would have gone, knocked on my neighbor's door and told him everything I said in this video. But I didn't do that. I posted it on social media. Five-star dummy. Hey, does your pussy feel better now?